Okay, it is 6 o'clock, and since we have a quorum, do you think we should start or should we? Oh, here's Regina. Great. Glad we didn't start. Hi, Regina.
He's still connecting, it looks like.
No, I don't want to make somebody else co-host just in case, because I'm on Wi-Fi out here. How do I do that? I go to participants.
Click on the three dots next to their name. Maybe not. Oh, no. Yeah, you should be able to do that.
From which list?
Either the ellipsis, the three dots in the picture window, or in the list of participants, there should be a little place to pull the menu down.
Hey, Margot's here.
Hi, sorry I'm late. I'm totally out of sorts.
Oh, no.
Well, my dog died very suddenly on Tuesday.
Oh, no,
so
I'm so sorry.
She's only 7. I know, I'm just beside myself.
I'm sorry.
Retrievers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Lacey, Bella and Lacey were the golden girls, and now there's just one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Marilyn, I'm asking you to become co-host just in case I get disconnected.
Good luck. Or I should say to me.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Regina's here, Margot's here. I haven't heard from Amy. So it is 6:01. I am going to call the Lancaster Community Preservation Committee to order. Let's take a roll call vote. Myself here, Marilyn.
Here.
Margot.
Here.
Wynn.
Here, but I have to leave at 6.
Okay, we're going to move things along as quick as possible. Regina? Regina, are you here? I see you, but I don't hear you.
Well, she's muted.
Yeah, Regina, can you unmute?
Can you hear us? We cannot hear you.
Okay, and then Tom, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, we'll count Regina as pending till she gets her audio issue resolved. So the first thing we have on the agenda is public comment. Kendra, do you have any comments since you're our public?
No, ma'am.
Okay. That was short and sweet. Next thing is to review and approve the minutes from April 18th. I looked them over. I thought they looked pretty comprehensive. Do we have a motion or any to discuss?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
Second to approve?
No,
Yeah.
that's we have to make a motion to bring them up and then we have a second. So are there any comments? I thought they looked fine. Anybody else have any comments? Margot's usual great job. Then why don't we take a roll call vote to approve the minutes? Wynn?
Yes, and I'm chatting with Regina. I think she can approve by chat.
Oh, okay.
I can't hear her. She says approve.
Okay, so Regina, Margot?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
And Marilyn?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Okay. Just general discussion about the town meeting results. What are the general comments of the committee? I mean, I'm thrilled our articles got passed. We're planning on doing the Forest Legacy one in the fall. Tom, do you have any more input on that you could share?
So honestly, I was kind of surprised that all the legacy articles got pulled. I wasn't in the loop on that decision. So I don't really know all of the reasons why those got pulled. I do know of two things that maybe were the causes. I think you probably saw that there was one of the parcel numbers was wrong.
Yeah.
And I believe town council decided that we couldn't amend that on the floor.
Yeah, and I think some of the parcels in the main one may have been misidentified. I spoke to, I didn't want, and Wynn was kind of handling that because I was a little indisposed Thursday and Friday before the town meeting. So it made sense just to pull it. We didn't want to have to approve something and then have to redo it or have it be incomplete, wrong. So I think it was a good idea to pull the article until we know more. I spoke briefly with Bob Lidstone today from the Land Trust, and he said they're working away on getting things lined up. Janet Morrison, the attorney, is away on vacation this week, but when she comes back, she's working on a contract with the town and then getting the parcels lined up with the right numbers and all of that good stuff. So I guess that will just be kind of an ongoing item that we'll be working on until the fall town meeting.
Yeah. So,
Anybody else? Yes.
So Bob had said something else in an email at one point. He had indicated that maybe they wouldn't be asking for community preservation funds for reasons I didn't fully understand, but I think it had to do with who would end up needing to own the conservation restriction. I think there was some concern on the land trust's part that an additional organization beyond the Conservation Commission would need to hold the CR in order
Really?
in order to
Okay, he
comply.
didn't mention that to me today, so I guess it's a good thing all this got postponed because it seems like there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Well, so it wasn't, it was kind of like a random out of the blue email, and it didn't really receive much more discussion. So I don't know the status of that. So it may be that they still want the funding, but it may be that they don't. So I think we do need some clarity on that.
Yeah, well, the good thing with our funding, if it doesn't get spent, it doesn't go anywhere. And, it just, if the project dissolves for some reason, it just goes back to whence it came, which would be the open space recreation reserve and the undesignated reserve. So, okay, I guess this is a wait and see, more to come item.
Yep.
And otherwise, I was thrilled with our other two projects getting approved with, no objection, which was nice. There were even a couple questions, which is always good. I think our message is getting out there that we're here and we have money for good projects. So I count that as a win. Any more discussion on town meeting? Nope. Okay, let's move on.
One thing, we really need to, we were trying to do it the exact same way as we did last year, but the moderator, I think I can't remember his name.
Bill O'Neill?
We have to make it, there was confusion as to whether it was one article or separate articles, and we have to make sure Bill understands that it's all one article, and the whole article should be read first, including all the projects.
So read in the entirety.
Yeah. And that might have been selectmen confusion as well. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there just seemed to be like this undercurrent because I specifically asked the moderator prior to town meeting. I said, are Wynn and I reading these? And then Steve came over and said, oh, no, this is a town sponsored one. The select board will read it. And I was like, oh,
we
great.
just have to make it clear next time. Okay, Steve, you're going to read the entire article, all projects.
Yeah.
We're going to do the presentation, all projects. Then we're going to vote separately.
Yes. Yeah, I think voting separately is the way to go. And yeah, it was only the second year.
Yep. No, it was no biggie, but
yeah, good point. Good point to raise. Anything else? Okay, then let's move on to the signage for.
I have one comment.
Oh,
Because
sure.
I've been reading, I subscribe to the Provincetown Independent newspaper, which is a great paper, and they do extensive covering of the various Outer Cape Town meetings. And I was noticing that the Cape Towns present the way Wynn was saying how we originally wanted it, that it's presented all as one and then voted on separately. And they're
Oh.
talking about big bucks on the Cape Towns because they've all been doing it for a really long time.
And they're probably all 3%.
Yep, and they're all 3%.
Yeah,
So we're talking, millions here.
yeah, I know. I can only dream and wish.
Mhm.
Well, that's good, good support for the way we want to do it, that others are
Yeah.
doing it the same way,
Yeah.
that have been at it a lot longer than we have. Good
All
job.
right, going back to my cave.
Okay. Okay, signage for the completed projects. Like the first church, portico, I discussed briefly with Martha Moore about putting a sign. I know it can't go on the front of the building. When you might want to chime in on this. Is there anywhere in the inside we could just put a little plaque, 2023 portico restoration project, community preservation funds?
I saw one in front of the library.
Oh, well, that's a temporary sign.
Okay.
We just can't affix it to the building, really.
Yeah.
And it would be better to put it outside. I would rather see like a plaque on a nice steel frame, smallish, that goes into the ground right next to the portico, maybe.
Okay.
It would be down low, but I don't know. If we had to do something, I think I'd rather see that.
Well, it establishes that, for anybody who happens to be looking, that, yes, we're here. Yes, we did this. It's a
Yeah.
pat on the back for ourselves and advertising. So that's one. The ball.
If I can make another comment about,
Sure.
Again, Cape Towns,
Absolutely.
there are permanent signs affixed, and every building in Provincetown, for the most part, is an historic structure and a historic district. So, everyone has to proceed properly and carefully to not, take away from the historic character. But there are signs. Town Hall has a sign, and some of them are fixed on buildings, but they're all wooden, and they look historic. And some of them are on steel poles, like you said, Win. So I'm just putting more of my 10 cents worth in.
Okay. Does anybody, like, I sent away for a brochure on bronze markers, and they're pretty expensive. So, and they have all different kinds. And I was thinking, because somebody from the Little League has mentioned to me that they want to do some sort of plaque, about all the volunteers or donations, whatever they got for the field renovation. So I was thinking, okay, maybe 5-6 lines, a 20 by 24 sign. The estimate was $2,000 something, which is, I think, a little excessive. So I think more research needs to be done on, wooden signs. Getting professionally painted is probably more the way to go. But I don't know what the life expectancy of one of those is, unless it was covered. So we're going to have to do more research, because the library is going to have 2 projects in a row, the windows and then the renovations inside. And if you look to the left of the library as you're going in, there's a lovely bronze brass sign for their family who donated that. And, that looks really classy. And I don't think we can afford anything like that, but it would be something along those lines might be nice.
Again, I want to put my 2 cents worth in.
Yep.
Again, Provincetown, Sea Air, I'm thinking particularly of the Art Association, which is, they had a great deal of CPA funds used for their renovation of their building and expansion. And they have a plaque that's on the front of the building, and the sea, and if it's a really bad storm, salt water washes onto the sign. So the front of buildings get covered with seaweed, and it seems to be lasting really well. It's been up there for several years and it looks brand new. So again,
Oh.
just my 10 cents worth.
So we would just have to find a vendor who can supply us that kind of quality product.
Yes,
Without-
exactly.
without
But it's going to
breaking
be a
the-
lot less expensive than bronze.
Okay.
All right,
Good-
back to my
good deal.
cave.
Okay, anybody want to volunteer to do a little more research on that? Don't all shout at once.
Sorry,
Okay,
I will.
will you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Because I
super.
can talk to people, because I can talk to people in Provincetown. I'm going back next week, so I'll talk to them.
Yeah, just take some pictures.
Yeah, I'll take pictures and I'll ask. I'll go to town hall because I'm going to be there for a week. I'll go to town hall and ask them, who they use and all that kind of fun stuff.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Margot. Appreciate it.
Well, and signs are awesome, but I think we need to keep in mind that a very limited number of people will see any sign at the church, and a fairly limited number of people will see any sign at the library. So we all should be putting it out on social media when the windows go in at the library. Let's post it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
If there's an event on the portico. Let's talk about it. We had the opening day at the ball field. Let's talk about it. So I'm just saying that there's lots of other ways to keep the
Yeah,
Post.
I posted a picture of when the windows were taken out of the library, all covered with plywood. So we have a before and we can have an after picture and maybe a close up on the inside of how gorgeous it's going to look, So that's a great idea to raise awareness, social media. Okay, anything else on number 4? Okay, then let's discuss I've been talking with Cheryl Garapi and had an email exchange with Kate Hodges about following up on what the project costs are coming in and that kind of thing. So it's still a work in process, but I did find some stuff in the law that says we have to keep records of expenses and what has happened. That's part of our charge. So we do need to work with the town finance department to understand, when what the project invoices are and when the project is complete, whoever that project manager is. And ultimately, Kate Hodges is the chief procurement officer. She signs off on everything before it goes to Cheryl for payment. So once I get some more information, I sent them that information from Groton on how they do it and have been doing it for 20 years. So I've asked that if Kate offered to write something up with Cheryl. So I asked that be included, so we can just kind of follow along. Because Groton actually does approve before invoices are paid, the CPC. So I just wanted to give you a brief update that is happening. We're trying to get it done, and I can send out more information as I get it. Because we have to do the CP3 form September 15th. That's the deadline. It can be done beforehand, but the state yearly wants to know where our projects are. They're still open. If they're, whatever the project, is it complete? Has the last invoice been paid? That kind of thing, because it is a state program that they pay into. So, we have to report. Cheryl does the 1 and 2 form, the CP1 and CP2. So it's just part of the process. Hey guys, quiet down. I know it wouldn't last. So any questions on that or thoughts?
I was wondering we were talking about the 10% for administration fees.
Yeah.
Are we able to, is the town able to receive that 10% to manage the entire process?
No, that's not how it works.
All right. Just
No, the town, this is just an added thing for the town to do.
Right.
Our administrative fund is to pay for legal fees that we ask town council to give us an opinion on a project.
Okay.
or we buy signs, or we advertise in the newspaper about our public hearing as required. That's where the 10% comes in. If we were to hire a community preservation coordinator at 10 hours a week
Right.
or whatever, it would come out of that 10%.
Yeah, so would that person be a town employee?
I believe so.
Okay.
And was it you, Tom, who brought up that there might be another part-time town employee who could take that on? Am I remembering that correctly? Like if it was somebody who was working 20 hours a week, might be able to pick up another 10?
Well, I had mentioned that the conservation agent used to be a part-time employee. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
I don't-
that-
yeah,
that-
I don't-
That's full-time now, correct?
Correct, yeah. And it's
Oh,
not
okay.
just conservation agent, it's assistant.
I know, maybe that's something we need to think about down the road.
Yeah.
So. But it's been something I've been working on, emails back and forth, and the town offices have been pretty busy with town meeting and elections and all sorts of things going on. So it's just something that we need to have a procedure for. So everybody knows what's going on and it's clear. Just a little bit of new business. Have you all gotten any communications from the Community Preservation Coalition? I gave everybody's email address.
Yeah, I've been getting
you-
lots of emails, yes.
Okay, so did you see the one from Stuart Sagnor about the state contribution is estimated to be only
yeah.
14%,
Mhm.
and they're being very, very conservative?
Yep, I saw that too.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad everybody's getting those. It keeps you in the loop.
Actually, Anaya, I don't think I have received any of those.
Okay, I'll double check that your email address went in correctly.
And I actually signed, the first one I got talked about the boot camp, so I signed up for a Zoom on
Oh,
that.
that's fun. That's a good one because there's a lot of questions coming and a lot of information.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very worthwhile. I'm glad you did that. Just making a note. The coalition updates are very helpful to us, and they're also just a wealth of information. So just wanted to make sure that was going on. And I had estimated 19%, 14%, that's a 5% difference. We can hope that the spring market is really, no, actually it will be till June 30th, anything that goes into the registry of deeds. We got to hope for a stronger real estate market and lower interest rates, and then we'll be better funded. So, okay, that's all I've got. Does anybody else have anything they want to bring up?
Real quick, I've been having I've tried to have some conversations with Kelly and others about resurrecting the tennis court project. Ultimately, it may be a project that we could consider doing a bonding. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but doing a bonding project, because I don't think that I don't think we'll be able to cover that not in 1 year. So either a bond project or a phased project where we ask for a certain amount over a certain number of years, which the difference there being that if we do it with a bond, then we're committed to that amount. We're locked in, right?
We can only spend up to that amount.
Right. So
I did a little bit of I talked to Dick Trussell very briefly, and he said bonds usually go 5 years.
okay.
I did some back of the envelope kind of thing, and I figured we could do like 250,000, just round numbers, out there numbers, over 5 years, paying back 50,000.
So that just means that CPA is committing 50,000 over 5 years, and we have to.
Yeah, and that would come from a combination of whichever, if it was historic, and undesignated. So you could budget that in for 5 years. So I have no idea what the interest rates are for those bonds, but we could do some more research. I think it's totally doable because that's a high profile project that a lot of people were really disappointed that we didn't, have something to put forward to town meeting this time around.
All right, well, I'll try to push those conversations forward, but just a heads up that,
Okay, Tom, has any thing been asked of the Conservation Committee if that's an okay spot for the tennis courts to be?
So that is going to be a challenging project. If so long as it stays within its current footprint, I think it's easily permittable. But if it expands, there'll definitely be questions, and we're going to have to look at it. No matter what, it's going to need a filing with the commission. I think pretty sure. But now that we have an agent on staff, I think that we should have staff look at it.
Okay, what would be the procedure to get that ball rolling? Would that have to come from Kelly's office?
Yeah, I
Would
think if Kelly just walked down and talked with Brad Stone, the agent, and laid out what the thoughts are, Brad should be able to give some pretty quick feedback about what the process would be and what his expectations would be. So the commission relies on the agent's expertise. So pretty much what Brad says, if Brad's fine with it or if Brad has concerns, the commission will be echoing largely.
Okay.
Echoing.
yeah.
Good to know, because my concern is it's so wet on either side of that area. I just wanted to make sure it would be a good place to commit all those funds to renovate or totally redo.
Well,
those
that's
tennis
why I
courts.
was pulled to make sure that if it is too wet, then we're doing something about it.
Okay,
Well, I mean, so as a pre-existing thing, it's certainly permittable to reconstruct it in place, at least in my opinion. I can't see why the commission would say no to that. It's just that some of what I've heard, expansion or relocation, that certainly relocation, that's absolutely a new filing if it's touching jurisdictional areas. But if it's expanding in place, then that's also going to be for sure a filing and for sure going to require engineering work. Because
okay.
it is adjacent to jurisdictional areas.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's not going to be simply tearing out the asphalt and putting new asphalt down. The ground needs to be,
Prepped and
drainage issue needs to be addressed. So there'd be fill there, there'd be something there. I don't know
Yeah.
what.
So that's definitely a notice of intent. And so the town's going to need to hire an engineer to do some work on that to
Yeah.
get it through the commission.
Okay.
okay.
I don't want to dig too deep into that now, but Kelly, we should certainly rely on her to drive that project forward because it'll take some time. We don't, I don't think I'll be able to be on this committee anymore, at least in the short term. And we just need continuity on that effort.
Okay, but you've got to be with us one more meeting because your term, my term, and Margot's term expire on June 20th, which just happens to be the third Thursday of the month. So
That's day, huh?
hopefully you
Okay.
can still join us, and you'd always be welcome to attend. We have a lot to thank you for from the beginning of this whole venture till now. So your participation is much appreciated.
Yeah. Well, you too.
We'll all pat ourselves on the back.
But that's a
Yes,
project.
but knowing that it's going to be your last meeting, yes, please attend and thank you for everything that you've done.
Yeah, so that brings us to our last agenda item, setting up the next meeting, which, as I just said, would be Thursday, the 20th at 6 o'clock. Is everybody good with that?
Hold on, let me look at my calendar. Thursday, let me see what I'm on.
I'm not sure that I'll be able to make that.
I'm good.
Okay.
I think you should just go ahead and schedule it with.
Yeah, I think it's best to try to stick to our schedule unless like the whole committee couldn't make it, so. Okay, and then do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, Margot, a second?
Second.
Tom, and let's do a
Yep.
roll call vote. Myself, yes. Marilyn,
Yes.
Margot,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Win,
Yes.
Regina. Can you? I think she's still on mute.
She
Is she
says
in the
yes.
chat?
She says yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we're officially adjourned at 6:30.